grind is out to see the song. We'll be making these tunes until the weed is gone. We sonic boom, keep the metaphor going. From the farm to the lab, but you already know it. Another season from the seed to the bong. It's a never-ending cycle, so we never stop growing. Check the style, y'all, I've never been a clone. Cali dad, I got a style on my own. I live in the forest, no shortage on trees. Got a jar in every drawer full of foliage. OG, cooling with my homies on a Saturday. Up in the studio, no matter what the forecast got.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video on today. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into it. Today, I want to kind of put a different spin on Kendrick Law. I know everybody's been kind of talking about Kendrick Law because he's very intriguing prospect. And a lot of people, acquiring minds, want to know why did Brad Holmes draft a wide receiver when we already have a lot of wide receivers. And we just signed a free agent, Greg Dortch, and then we got Dominique Levitt on the team, and then you also got Tesla on the team with J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, the biggest thing that I've been seeing with Kendrick Law is I've been watching this film, studying him, knowing what type of player he is all the way from high school. I went back into his background in high school, and he's always been this type of player, a guy that can do it all. Whether it's a guy that can run kick returns, punt returns, a guy that can run jet sweeps, a guy that can be used in screens, a guy that can run the ball out of the backfield. To me, Detroit Lions will have their own personal Percy Harvin. This is what I'm really looking at him as, that type of player. But not only that, I see something really different that Detroit could be onto, because this dude is 6 foot, 200 plus pounds, and he's built like a running back. He looks like a running back more than he looks like a receiver. Kendrick Law is definitely a well-compact human being. And just watching him, man, I'm very interested to see how the Detroit Lions are going to utilize. Kendrick Hall is so intriguing as a player that you don't really know how the Detroit Lions are going to utilize him. Yes, I think that he's been brought in to compete with Dominique Levitt and Greg Dortch. He's going to compete with these guys. He's definitely going to compete for these guys, whether it's for time on the field, as far as kick return, pump return. I know that they brought Dortch in to do, he could do the same things. And a lot of people have already said that Dortch was brought in to be a replacement for Khalid Raymond, who went over to the Chicago Bears. But I don't know, man. I'm thinking that the Lions could also, in the near future, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but the Lions could use Kendrick Law as a number 2 running back as well. He's big enough to be a number 2 running back. He's 6 foot, 200 pounds. And I really think with his ability to catch out of the backfield and his ability to be a dude that can do it all, he might get an opportunity to carry the ball more. And with a guy like him, you want the ball to be in his hands. You want guys that are really good with the ball in their hands to be able to get the ball in their hands. And if the Detroit Lions are up to something, maybe they're up to him being the number 2 running back on this team. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen this year, because we already know that Pacheco is the number 2 running back outside of Jahmyr Gibbs. But basically what I am saying is that it's a possibility that Kendrick Law could end up being RB2. I just want to see how, truly how the Lions are going to use him. But he does have that Percy Harvin type feel, the Deebo Samuels type of feel. And on many of plays, the San Francisco 49ers would use Deebo Samuels in a package where they would have him running the ball out of the backfield, whether it was a jet sweep or actually literally running the ball out of the backfield. So I think that Kendrick Law could be one of those dudes that could ultimately be a number 2 running back, man, because I think that this kid is that talented. And I think some guys like this, that when they're in college, they go to a good college like Alabama, and then they go to a Kentucky and stuff like that, and they don't really get utilized like how they should have been utilized, because that's the reason why he left Alabama, because he wanted to be used in a certain type of way. And, because a lot of people will say, well, why would he leave Alabama? That's the best school, in the country. But at the same time, you got to think about it. Sometimes guys make decisions on going to a school because the school is a championship program, or they just love the school, period. You know what I mean? They always dreamed of going to that school. But then when they get there, they don't really get the opportunity to really showcase their abilities on the football field. And that could be the same thing with Kendrick Law. The reason why he ended up hitting the transfer portal and going over to Kentucky is because he wasn't utilized the way that he probably felt like he should have been utilized with Alabama. So he took his talents over to Kentucky. But I definitely think, and I'm just putting this out here, I think I'm probably going to be the first person that says this. I think that Kendrick Law could be a number 2 running back. I'm not kidding you. This kid's ability to run the ball, able to catch out the backfield, and able to do it all, you know what I'm saying, would give the Lions so much creativity, because if they're giving Jahmyr Gibbs a blow or something like that, imagine having to chasing a guy like a Kendrick Law down the field as well, who got almost the same type of speed as Jahmyr Gibbs. So I think this is going to be interesting. I wanted to put that out there. I wanted to give a different spin to Kendrick Law because I know that everybody is talking about him right now. But at the same time, I wanted to see it for what it really is. Could Kendrick Law be a number 2 running back in the future for the Detroit Lions? Because he's that big. The dude is a big dude. I think pretty much, to me, probably bigger than he's probably bigger than Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, I know height-wise he's bigger than Jahmyr Gibbs, but weight-wise, I don't really know. But he's 200 pounds, and I think that this dude would be able to run the football as well. And I want to see if the Lions are going to utilize him in that type of way. So there is a possibility that the Detroit Lions can have something up their sleeves on how they're going to utilize Kendrick Law. But he can catch out the backfield. He is a receiver / running back, and he can do it all. And he's very intriguing, man. So I can't wait to see how the Lions are going to use Kendrick Law, whether they're going to use him in the backfield or they're going to allow him to go in the slot, catch passes, whatever. Whatever the Lions decide to do with him, Drew Petzing and his offense. But I definitely think that Kendrick Law could be the number 2 future running back on this team. I wanted to come with a different aspect because it's very interesting why the Lions would pick up a wide receiver when we really didn't need a wide receiver. We probably should have opted and got another safety because of Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. But I guess they felt like they addressed it. They addressed the situation with free agents. So we'll see, man. But definitely, man, I can't wait to see Kendrick Law play on the field because I really want to see what type of player this guy is. I definitely think that he could be a number 2 running back behind Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe the Lions might be up to something that we don't know. But, yeah, definitely, man. I can see this guy, Gibbs, giving you hell throughout the game, and then Kendrick Law coming in and being that number 2 running back and giving you hell as well with their speed. 2 speed running backs giving you hell on Sundays. Man, gotta love it. So I can't wait to see, man, what the Detroit Lions are going to do. Ultimately, how they're going to use Kendrick Law to be successful, because they brought this dude in to compete. He's going to compete with Dominique Lovett. He's going to compete with Greg Dortch. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted to, wake you up as a fan of the Detroit Lions and put that on your mind. Could the Detroit Lions be up to something, and could they end up using Kendrick Law as a number 2 running back? Will they use Kendrick Law as a number 2 running back? We already know he got good hands, but will they run the football with him and allow him to be that number 2 running back in the future? I'm not saying that it's going to happen this year because we know that Isaiah Pacheco is going to be behind Jahmyr Gibbs, but this is something that the Lions might be thinking about. So this is probably the reason why they did not draft a running back. They opted to pick a receiver, which probably left a lot of people scratching their heads, wondering why they made a decision like that. But we'll see, man, because this dude is built like a running back. He's not built like a receiver. He is built like a running back. And I can't wait to see it, man. I think that Kendrick Law can be very special, and he could be another weapon on the Detroit Lions roster. And that's what we need. We need all the weapons that we can get because we got a quarterback that is not mobile. So definitely, you need the weapons. All right, guys, this is Raw Detroit signing out. Peace.